Akita.
Oh.
Yeah, he's an Akita.
It's the only dog to come into DexaFit.
Did he go to DexaFit? That's right, he did. That
Yes.
was before.
That's when I met him.
Yes, that was before. That was
You
after
came with
my
Andre, right?
Yes, I
Andre?
came with Andre.
Yeah.
Did he come back for a scan?
No, I hunted him down. He was
He's tough to get in touch with.
Yeah,
sometimes.
yeah.
He's tough. He's
a lot
always
of these guys are. Man.
he's always somewhere.
Yeah.
Don's kept up with it though.
Don's he's had a bit of a hiatus because I think business is picking up for him a lot.
That's good.
I got to check in with him. But yeah, I mean, Sadiq, we could save it for the podcast, but Sadiq.
Oh, we started.
Oh, okay.
That's how I do it,
sorry.
baby.
Yeah.
No, don't
You are
apologize.
smooth.
You're good.
All right.
You're good. That's how we do it.
Sadiq used it pretty diligently. He did a scan prior to kind of getting deep into training, and then he did his progress scans. And at the end of the day, he was really low body fat percentage right before, probably a week or 2 weeks before getting on stage.
How low we talking?
He was 7%,
Yeah.
and that's I think there was still several weeks before he was getting on stage. So he used it really well. He used it to fine tune the training, to monitor the training. It was cool to see because we haven't had that many people come in that frequently to track their progress. People will come in either like a few days out to see where they're at, but they don't come in maybe a month out or a month and a half out to see exactly how they're heading in.
Well, that's the way you're supposed to use it. You're supposed to
Yeah.
use the scans as a tool. It's not supposed to be just something that, it could be something that you do every now and then just to check and see where you're at and gauge how my body is doing and what's the bone density and stuff like that, which I'll have you go into exactly everything that you guys offer. But to use it as a metric to gauge the training and what you're trying to do, especially when you're trying to get super low body fat and you're trying to get shredded and you're watching the numbers so diligently, this next level of, how many people wear Apple Watches? How many people wear the Oura Rings, right? Because they want to know heart rate, calories burned. They want to just have that metric. So this is just another metric to add to that to understand what's going on with your body and how you can kind of better the progress or if you are progressing.
Yeah, it's very dynamic. Everybody is looking for something slightly different out of the scan. Bodybuilders are looking to increase muscle tissue while losing fat as much as possible while being in a deficit and preparing to get on stage.
Amen. Feel that.
Some people are focused just on body fat and aren't dialed in on muscle tissue, and they're not focused in that category, so they want to see on the next scan how much body fat they lost. But then they get on the scan and they've lost muscle tissue, and you change the way they think because it's revealing of what you're doing is optimizing or you're working in the wrong direction. So people learn a lot from the scans, and it really depends on what demographic is coming in to scan for what they're looking for, what their knowledge base is. Bodybuilders have extreme knowledge base of human anatomy and training and diet, so they're going to know what they're doing and be very precise, whereas the regular person who's coming in off the street, they're just focused on body fat, and they're missing a big piece of the picture.
They ignore all the rest of those metrics as they're looking at it. They're like, "Where's the body fat? Where's the body fat?"
It's education. So it's being in this business. You see it all. You see all the diets. You see all the where everybody's focused on what the different criteria they're looking for. It's been a very interesting business.
So speaking of business, it kind of gets into the starting point of who you guys are. I want to welcome you both onto the show, and I'm going to have you both introduce yourselves individually and what your specializations are and what you do. And I'd love to hear both your stories of what got you into, obviously, the professions that you're in now and scans and the nutritional side of things and just how it all started. So whoever wants to kick this party off, please.
So I'll kick it off, and then I'll segue to Sarah. So my background is in fitness. I found DexaFit in looking for a way to allow people to understand their bodies without going through some of the other methods of body composition that are not as accurate, whether it be calipers or impedance or hydrostatic weighing. I was looking for something less invasive, but the gold standard.
Is the hydrostatic weighing like weighing in water?
Weighing in the water, yeah.
So that's not as accurate.
It's accurate, but there's a lot more variability with the testing parameters.
Gotcha.
And so, the DEXA technology is considered the gold standard. It's seamless. It takes anywhere from 6 to 8 minutes to complete a test. It's very easy. It is radiation, but it's very low dose. It's equal to essentially eating like 4 bananas is a similar amount of radiation. If I was to give you an example, or
so now you're saying I gotta worry when I eat a fucking banana? I gotta sit there and be like,
it's
damn, I gotta cut back on the bananas, man.
I'll give you a better context. Equal to 1/40th of a normal X-ray.
Okay, there you go.
Like less than a microwave.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's super low. It is radiation, so you don't want to do it, too frequently. But
So all you people thinking you're gonna go in once a week, don't do that.
no, I mean we definitely. And not only is once a week not great in terms of frequency, but who's going to see change that quick unless you're doing something extremely unhealthy. We generally tell people every 3 months because body composition done in the right way. For most of the population, it's good to see it over 3 months, maybe 2 months. Most people are you keep that shorter time frame. They're able to quantify exactly what they did for body composition change. But essentially, that's how I found DEXA scans, DexaFit, and then there's other services that we offer besides body composition that help with health, and that has also extended into other categories. So. Metabolic testing we do, VO2 max testing. We've expanded into doing blood work, nutrition plans with registered dietitians and medical staff, and that's where Sarah came on board, is to do more of the nutrition services, because most people who walk through our door don't know what they're doing. So
Most people that don't walk through any door don't know what they're doing. So most people just don't have a clue. They either have been taught the
calories,
the gold standard of the food pyramid that everyone really gets taught, and how inaccurate that is, and how there's so much more that goes into not only eating for your body composition, but eating for performance and eating to be healthy, and how much more that takes. And that's why there's people that do that. There's you have a mechanic for a car. You have to have somebody to help you out with your body if it's not functioning right, and most people aren't, and they don't even know it.
Yeah.
They have no idea that
and
it's
it's
not
hard.
functioning.
You're busy. Your life. You're doing a million things. So can you? Sometimes it's good to put it into someone else's hands, and that's so. Coming out of COVID, I wanted to expand the business so that I wasn't just delivering data to people. I was, if they needed the help, they had a resource. And so I worked with Sarah prior to COVID, and she's a registered dietitian with private clients, and we were working together to basically deliver the data to her clients, because she believed a lot in the DEXA and the integrity of that data. And coming out of COVID, I brought her on board to join DexaFit, and we formed a company out of it called Prefusion Health. And I'll let you talk a little bit about what you do and your background.
And by the way, that was Brian speaking, because I know you didn't give your name.
Did you ask for it?
Yeah, it's okay.
I just jumped right into the business.
Just jump right now.
I'm DexaFit. I'm not Brian.
Yeah, you are DexaFit. Yes, that's what he is in my phone at this point.
Yeah.
So my name is Sarah. I'm a registered dietitian. My background's also in fitness. I was a personal trainer and a group fitness instructor for a really long time. And a lot of my clients were frustrated that they weren't seeing results, with change in body composition, because they're putting a lot of work in with fitness, but they're not getting anything out of it. So I decided to go to school to merge nutrition with fitness, and started getting clients a much better result and return on their investment. And so I was always interested in the body composition side of things. Like Brian said, I was using DexaFit, sending a lot of my clients to him to get scans. And then we started to, merge into this world of Prefusion Health, where now we're taking the data and basically creating comprehensive nutrition programs to help people achieve either their aesthetic goals or their performance goals, or just internal health goals. So my specialty is mostly in sports nutrition, but I love to work with everybody. Even if someone has underlying medical conditions, that's really what we're trained to do as dietitians. It's my first love. But sports nutrition has my heart, so I do love to do all that. And Long Island has so many great athletes and so many great people to work with, so we get to see a lot of good stuff there. So I'm happy to be where I am at DexaFit and Prefusion Health.
Yeah. The dual
dual
companies.
Yeah.
Let me ask you on the nutrition side of things, and what got you into it. I know you touched on it so briefly, but what really made you want to push into learning the nutrition side? I mean, was it inconsistencies in your own diet? Was it just a mixture of knowledge from everybody, and I feel like you have your own opinion, you have your own opinion, I have my own opinion.
Yeah,
It's just
yeah.
where can we find common ground and understand that everybody's not wrong, but everyone's not right.
Yeah, yeah. So growing up, I was an athlete myself. I played basketball, softball, dance. I did everything. But going to school, being an athlete, we never got any nutrition guidance to help us perform better. So, once I went to high school and college, I really tried to increase my performance, but I found that nutrition was really holding me back. It wasn't really for aesthetic goals in the beginning. Obviously, that came a little bit later on. But more just to I didn't want to be so fatigued in the middle of a basketball game or, cramping all the time or just feeling dehydrated and getting headaches and just feeling like crap. So that's really what made me focus more on my nutrition personally. And then once I stopped playing basketball, I was like, what am I going to do now? I have no sports because I was done with college. And then I was like, okay, I'm going to go join a gym and figure it out on my own. And then, merge into the world of just traditional weightlifting.
Which, if I can cut in for 2 seconds, a lot of college athletes have that dilemma.
Yes.
I know I have a lot of friends that are college athletes.
Yes.
A lot of them have that dilemma. If you're not going to go professional sports and you're
Yeah,
not
what
going
do
to
you
get
do
drafted,
now?
it's just kind of I have this huge passion that was such a large portion of my life,
Yeah.
and now I don't know what to do.
Yeah.
So it's really good that you're able to not only make a career out of it, but bridge something that you love and do it and help others.
Yeah. So that's really where it came from. I was like, what the hell am I going to do now? And then I decided to, like I said, go to school for nutrition and give back to mostly the college athletes and the high school athletes that I wanted to be when I was growing up. So that's really where it came from.
So what's some of the stuff that you see are so many inconsistencies in clients that come to you? Like, there's got to be some type of a trend, whether it's too many carbs or whatever it is. They're just maybe overeating in certain areas and they're not understanding the macronutrients that they need to get in.
You know what it is? A lot of people are actually under-eating and overtraining. That's probably the number one thing I think we see the most. Yeah. People think that they have to train harder, do more cardio, right? Run themselves into the wall. And then before they know it, they're burnt out. They're eating such low calories. They're doing so much cardio and their weight is not responding. They're exhausted. They're not sleeping good. Their digestion is off. Everything is just so off. And the only way out of that is really to reverse diet and get them into a good place to support their training. So I want to say a good 75% of our clients are more in that category of under eating and overtraining.
Which nobody wants to reverse diet.
Yes, nobody.
Nobody wants to say,
Nobody.
what? I have to add food back to my diet?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're fighting a lot of information that's out there that conflicts with what we're doing. Eat at a deficit. They think they're eating at a deficit, but then there's no macro balance, and then they're training without fueling or post fuel, so they just don't understand how to really fuel for their goals.
Yeah.
And they have no structure.
Mm-hmm.
And we try to lean on the data. That's really what we do. We try to create awareness through data. So the DEXA scan, and again, this is more general pop. So we try to, the DEXA scan shows X amount of fat tissue, X amount of lean tissue, bone density is what it is. Maybe there's existence of visceral fat. So we try to use some of that data, and then we tie it to the blood work. Blood work also shows this environment going on. We look at their lifestyle. How's their training? How's their are they stressed? What's their cortisol levels? We try to create
Through the roof.
Yeah,
Constantly through the roof.
we try to understand the individual to say, hey, here's a better protocol for you. But then the work is in the 4 months they're with us, getting them to adhere to it. And that's the work, is getting them to change.
Scan's easy.
The scan is easy.
The scan's easy.
Yeah.
It's what comes after the scan and the lifestyle changes and all of the adaptations that you have to make to get on the right track or to get on the space and track that you want, that you're hoping to progress to.
Yeah.
Yeah, and everyone's so different. Everyone, you can have a beginner to nutrition, someone who's never even been in the fitness space, never even focused on a diet in their life, and then you have the people that are very advanced and just want to go from good to great, So, and we have everything in between. So it's really meeting somewhere where they're at and trying to, develop the best nutrition program, the best fitness program, the best lifestyle plan that's going to fit where they're at right now and get them from where they are now to where they want to be, essentially.
And I love that. That's what you hope more companies would do instead of, oh yeah, get my juice, it'll clean you up and you'll be great. You want to. There's so much more to it to be happy and healthy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So do me a solid. Take me through. I want the works. I come into you guys, I want the works. Point A to B. Obviously, you tell me, you guys tell the blood panels that you want run so you can see it. Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Yep.
So you guys tell the client, hey, come back with these blood panels. Are they calling you prior and then you're having them get the blood results and then doing everything in the service? Or it's you guys first and then you
Everything.
figure it out?
We do it all. So you want to get started with us. We bring you in for the DEXA scan, the RMR, and the blood work all on the same day. Some people struggle to fast and not have coffee in the morning. So
Caffeine. Yay.
Thank you, Rain.
we try to we try to get it all done in one day. So we'll do the DEXA scan, we'll do your RMR, and then you'll meet with one of our staff members, one of our nurse practitioners, who will get some background on you, some health history, because we need to know, what has gone on in your life that might be a hurdle that we need to work through. And then we draw your blood. Within probably 4 to 5 days, we have all the data.
So you guys are drawing the blood as well?
Yeah.
Okay,
we're doing
cool.
the
I didn't
blood
know
draw.
that.
And we draw over 50 biomarkers, so pretty extensive. Liver profiles, kidney profiles,
Blood sugar.
lipid panel, blood sugar, hormones, vitamins.
Yeah.
We measure for inflammation, celiac. Like we need as much as we could gather to again create here's what's getting in the way of your progress.
Here's Nick's
yeah.
reasons why things are not
Cortisol is through the roof.
Internal and external.
through the roof.
Yeah, yeah.
Through the roof.
You might
Life.
be running in place simply because of stress and what stress environment is created in your body, is prohibiting you from reaching your goals. And you're doing a good job of your health not going totally sideways, but you're fighting an uphill battle. And how do you become aware of that? You're not going to wake up one day and be like, yeah, stress is the issue. Sometimes it's good to see the biomarkers, see that if visceral fat is something that isn't just a cause of poor diet, but maybe the environment you're created from work or running around doing 50 million things a day. Maybe you need to find time to slow it down. And I'm sure you've done things to help with managing stress, but
Try to do meditation, man. But
if you don't,
I start meditating and all of a sudden I start thinking, all the shit I got to get done. And I'm just like, God, man, come on, brain, turn off.
I think we got to figure something else out.
Yeah, eventually. Well, I'll eventually be like, all right, it's time.
Yeah.
I can't
Work,
keep crashing
work,
like this.
work. Yeah. So
I'll tell you the last time I got a scan from you guys, which, it's a while ago. 2 years maybe? 2-3 years maybe?
It's been a while.
I had no visceral fat, so I was pretty happy about that. I have a lot of regular fat,
Yeah.
but no visceral fat, so that made
You're
me
a young
happy.
guy. You're a
That
young
made me
guy.
happy.
You tend to see those markers with people that have chronically eaten bad for long periods of time. They've created that environment where visceral fat has built up over time, and those are the tougher cases, because you have to make lifestyle shifts. For me to say to you, Nick, you need to slow it down. You need to relax more, work a little. That's a really tough pill to swallow, right? It's
Yeah.
like you need to stop working at 9 o'clock, shut off, and you'll get better sleep, and that will help with your metabolism the next day, and you will reach your goals if you start to implement these things. Like, fuck you, I'm gonna work. I gotta make money, right?
Yeah, I'll tell you what though, on a side note for anybody listening, entrepreneurship wise and just starting their own business and doing things like that.
It's a grind.
Yeah, when I first started, I used to actually, no joke, I used to actually work 21 hours, 20 hours a day, and I was a slave to the process, and it's really tough. And unless someone comes and tells you it's time to relax a little bit, you almost don't give yourself that leisure. And you don't understand that that's affecting you on numerous levels.
Yeah.
Physically, mentally,
Yeah.
everything like that. So that was actually a big portion to getting the studio as well, because I needed to be able to turn
Disconnect.
off. Except
Yeah.
now I have the laptop and I edit at home anyway. So it just it was for a long time though. I was editing on my desktop still, and it was once I leave, I'm done with work for the day.
Yeah.
So I'd have clients hit me up. They'd be like, "Hey, could we just do it tomorrow?" I didn't have that balance for a long time.
Did that make you more? Did you find yourself more productive from making that switch?
Not so much. I found that I was more productive because I was working 20 hours a day, and it was a constant grind. I'd be in my room, I'd take a break at 11 o'clock. I'd play some Xbox with some of my buddies, and I'd be sitting there playing a couple games, and I'd be leaning in my chair just like this. I'd be leaning in my chair with my back to my computer, my whole desk, because it was in the corner of my room. I'd be playing on the TV, and I'd turn around, I'd be like, I gotta finish that video. Shit. I'd be like, all right, guys, I'll see you later. And then I wouldn't stop till 2-3 in the morning.
Yeah.
And then I'd go to sleep, and I'd wake up 7-8 o'clock the next morning and go right back to it.
All over again.
So It's tough. It's tough to turn it off. But when you do turn it off, you have to just understand. I still have problems. Like when I take a day, or I take a half a day or whatever. Like I need to just chill, or I want to read a book, or I want to go I want to go to the beach, or I have a very hard time since I've started working for myself going, it's okay to do this. Like you need it, because people ask me all the time. They're like, you shoot on the weekends? I go, I'll shoot whenever. I don't give a shit. There's no like, oh, no, I don't do Sundays. I don't do Saturdays. I don't do Friday nights. Like, no, I'll shoot whenever we need to.
Right.
So I also have to have that acceptance health-wise to be like, it's okay to turn it off for a few and just like relax.
Yeah, I mean, your priorities shift, your priorities shift, and it depends if you hit that wall. Listen,
I've hit the wall.
Yeah.
I've hit the wall many times. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm surprised I'm still here. I guess I have good seatbelts. Yeah. I'm surprised.
Don't do it in the cars downstairs.
No. They're too expensive. No, I can't. I don't even have the keys to those. They're not letting me anywhere near them. Stay behind the glass, man, with how many times you hit the wall.
You got it. You have to, at some point, even though you're young, you have to, if you have goals, and if you become aware of those goals through the data, that the data isn't as favorable as you want, you're motivated maybe to make some adjustments in your life. But
do you see stress as a lot for people?
Oh yeah. I mean, yeah, it's.
Do you find, and now, how long have you guys been doing this? I'm trying to figure out the word I want to use for it.
Like total health
internal health testing.
Approach.
Yeah.
Since
2 years.
Yeah, about 2 years.
August 2020.
So it started after COVID. Because I wanted to know if there was a spike in if you guys were doing it in 2019 and then all of a sudden you did it, and all of a sudden you did it in 2020 and the spike was crazy.
There was a spike with DexaFit for sure. People became aware that they needed to take control of their health. So DexaFit's business picked up tremendously after COVID. And it took a while because people were still, it took a while for DexaFit to get back on its feet. But Prefusion Health that came out of DexaFit definitely is a product of people understanding they need to take care of their health, being more proactive, and being scared of not having, optimization in place to fend off any issues later on. So hopefully we don't fall back into our old ways, is not paying attention to optimization.
No, they will. Unfortunately, they will. Everybody does. Actually, I can't speak for everybody. Most people do. The people that don't understand the need for that type of lifestyle change and to be able to turn that dark side of what they were doing off and stay in the light side.
Yeah.
It's hard. Like the gym is easy. It's the way I train now. I do a lot of functional fitness. So sandbag throws, Bulgarian bags. I do a lot of kettlebells, like stuff like that is hard.
Do you do that to get more of a heart rate?
I do it because I'm bored of bodybuilding.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm bored.
Yeah.
I'm bored.
We were just having this conversation in the car.
I'm bored of the same. Now, listen, John Meadows, I'm wearing his jersey. John Meadows died almost a year ago. That was my big bro. I love John. I train, if I do bodybuilding stuff, I train his style 9 times out of 10. There's like not any other bodybuilding style that gets me as strong and lean over a progressive time. However, ever since I started doing more of the functional fitness, there's been nothing over the 11, 12 years that I've been doing more bodybuilding style workouts that has gotten me as strong and lean this quickly.
Right.
And it's an hour goes by like this.
Yeah.
I'm drenched. I'm physically and mentally tired.
Right.
I'm not like that anymore. Like I get asked to go to Bev's now or any gym. I get asked to go to any gym. They're like, yo, you want to hit chest? I'm like, no, I don't. I don't want to sit there and just, oh, great, 4 sets. And, oh, this is so much fun. Like, I understand why people are hesitant to hit the gym that have never hit it before. Now, that was me years ago. I was 270 pounds. I was pre-diabetic. So in 10th grade, I didn't want to go to the gym. And I found a love in bodybuilding. And now over the last 10 years, I competed twice. I want to make sure that was accurate in my head. I competed twice. And then I've shifted into staying the course of bodybuilding. But if I can combine everything into an hour and a half of training and cardio,
this is the exact conversation we just had.
It's just money. It's just.
I'll tell you the origin of it is we a lot, like, again, not to talk about a lot of our clients, but a lot of our clients come in and they're not doing enough in the gym to physiologically change, either to build muscle and lose fat, right? They're overtraining and they're doing a lot of cardio, and they're doing the cardio at a very high elevated heart rate. The weightlifting is an afterthought. Maybe it happens after the cardio, so it's not effective, it's not progressive. but they're doing it because they could slam all this stuff in an hour of their day. So what is their priority? If their priority is body composition change, we have to change it a little bit.
People are busy, man.
But they're busy, right?
People are busy, dude.
So,
And I'm not making an excuse for the general population, but people are busy. And for you to just expect, not you personally, but like life, for life to just expect you to, if you have kids, if you have pets, if you have a significant other, if you have your own business, if then and then you got a grocery shop and meal prep and do all the. If everything goes according to plan and you still have to cram an hour of fitness in, most people are going to think, well, I'm trying to lose weight, I'm going to do cardio. Or they're going to spend all their time on doing the weightlifting like I usually do. And then I'm like, I got to do a half hour, 45 cardio right now?
Yeah.
Right.
Like, no, I'm good on that. And you just leave.
Yeah.
It's the same thing with like hitting abs. It's like, okay,
Yeah.
like I don't feel like hitting them now. I just spent myself for the last 45, 50 minutes.
Right.
Now I'm going to spend another 15, 20 minutes just doing abs and then cardio. It's tough, man.
You're giving something up.
You're giving something
doing
up.
that, yeah.
And most of the time it's an easy fix, technically speaking. It's an easy fix to combine it all. But like, and I want you to get back to what you're saying, but the point that I was making was, the TikTok clips do really well with the show. Like I do a lot of TikTok clips, and some guy asked, what do I do if I hate the gym? Like I just don't like the gym, but I have to lose weight and this and that. And my biggest advice, and it still sticks to this day, especially now that I've shifted fitness styles, is find something you love.
Yeah.
And when you stop loving it, pivot, do
Yeah.
something else. Like if you love to play golf, go play golf. It's activity. It's
Yeah.
outside. You're getting fresh air. You're getting sun, so that's good for you. And don't take the cart. Walk.
Yeah.
And then maybe that transitions into you doing specific exercises in the gym to help your golf game.
Yeah.
Maybe you're moving on more core functioning, and that's what you're focusing on. You don't have to focus on back and chest.
Right.
But like the biggest thing that I tell people, and the message I try to get over to people is try something. If you don't like it, don't do it again.
Yeah.
Like you may love, I don't know, polo. You may love polo. It's exercise riding a horse. May not be the best exercise, but at least you start to move.
Yeah.
For the people that need to just get in that mindset of I need to start moving,
Yeah.
you gotta do something you like. Otherwise, you're not gonna do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so true. Better do what you love than don't do anything at all.
Exactly. Like,
Right?
like I'm bad at basketball. So if you told me to come play basketball, it's not happening. I'm just bad and I don't like it. So it's like I'm never gonna do it.
Yeah.
So if we sat there and you told me, well, Nick, you got to go play basketball. Like that's what's gonna burn all these calories. It's like, nah, there's got to be something else.
Yeah.
There's got to be another sport that I could take up. I love handball. I'll play handball for hours.
Yeah.
And that'll burn just as many calories, if not more. Like who
Yeah.
knows? It's just about connecting with that
Yeah.
sport, that activity that makes you go, oh, I can't wait to do it.
Yeah, I think it's just what's your goal, right? If you're going to come in and say, I want to be 10% body fat, I want to look like this person, you have to train and eat the way, for the most part, the way that person does.
Yeah, take out illegal substances for some, but
But if we need to just move the needle on your health, then what you said applies. Get moving,
Yeah.
right? Stop over analyzing it. Stop thinking in that way because you need to do your version of getting this much better today. So to kind of bring it back to that,
Yeah,
like
yeah, pick it back.
1 hour of like training, it as long as you understand that it doesn't align with what you're telling us and it aligns with optimization, your version of it, because you have 50 million things to do in a day and you need an hour of like varied, fitness, then that fits the model. Just know whatever your goal is, you have to understand that you're working towards your training and your diet are going to reflect where you end up.
Yeah.
So if you want to build muscle, you have to train to build muscle. You have to eat to build muscle. If you want to be healthier, you have to, take whatever you can do and just make it the best version of that, right?
Yeah.
So fuel before you work out, eat after, don't skip meals, don't undereat, don't overtrain, find some relaxation techniques to, help with your metabolism and your sleep. And that's what we try to do. We try to figure out,
Yeah.
here's where we could take you in a reasonable amount of time. But if you're telling us this is your goal, you have to understand
Yeah.
what it takes to get
Well, it's
there.
partly because a lot, like I see with the females especially, like a lot of females will do like Zumba all the time, and that would be like their exercise of choice, and like they don't to your point, like they don't understand why they're not achieving a certain body composition because they've plateaued, you know, and when they plateau, it's like, well, we have to shock the body and do something else. So like I do see your point, you know, I think that it's like you have to do what you love, but like you also have to vary it a little bit, you know. I think that like especially women are afraid to lift weights, you know, not so much anymore. I think like women are getting into it more than they used to, but when their plateaus are being hit, you know, that's your signal to do something either a little bit different to shock the body. So I think it's important to vary it for sure.
Well, they're worried they're going to turn into She-Hulk just by just by
Exactly.
touching a kettlebell. It's like,
Come on, girls, we don't have as much testosterone.
It's
don't
hard.
worry like that.
It's hard. It's hard to break these
Stigmas.
Yeah,
It's hard to break
it
the stigmas.
really is.
Yeah, it just
Well,
people
we're up
believe
against, so like you know, you were asking me in the beginning like about fad diets and stuff. It's like
Give
we're
it to me.
up against so many fad diets.
Give me one.
and-
Come on, give me one. Just give me something.
The best one is the keto intermittent fasting.
Yeah.
It's like the combo of the two.
Wait, so I shouldn't consume all of my calories in one sitting for the day?
In
And
the
from
form
fat.
of fat and maybe not even enough protein.
Damn. All right.
Yeah.
Well, fuck.
Yeah.
I guess I've been doing it wrong.
Yeah, that's always, and
Yeah.
and I'll say this, like sometimes the data proves us wrong, but rarely, rarely, yeah.
Yeah, so it's case by case basis. Every
Yeah.
person's different.
Yeah.
Some people may be able to do that better than others.
Yeah.
Listen, I work very well on a keto diet when I'm really focused on it.
It depends what your goals are.
But
You
I
know, it
also
does-
don't. It's also not sustainable for me. I'm not
Right.
eating like that
That's
for
the
long
hard
periods
part
of
with
time.
a lot of
Yeah.
these diets is sustainability.
Yeah, I'm just
you
not
know?
doing it anymore. I used to track macros. I've been through it all. I haven't done intermittent fasting. I've done like I'll fast till like 1 o'clock and then I'll start eating. Like that. Like that's the most fasting I'll do just to give my body a
That's a
little bit
long
of a break.
time because you were going to bed at what time?
Oh well, now I mean, if this is more recently. If I fasted, it was like a year ago, and I wasn't doing it like consciously. I just wasn't hungry, and if I
Yeah.
wasn't hungry, I just wouldn't eat.
Right.
So I don't know. I'd probably go to bed like early night, 11 o'clock,
Yeah.
early night, and then I'd wake up at 7. I wake up pretty consistently, no matter what time I go to
Oh,
bed.
so
At
you're
6:30,
up
7.
early. So you're not even sleeping through that fast.
No. I get maybe, everyone always messages me, even the rain guys. Everybody messages me, they're like, yo, do you ever fucking sleep? Like, they're like, do you? Yeah, because they'll text me and I'll answer them at all hours of the day. Everybody, all my clients too. So like, I'll message somebody at 2 a.m. and then they'll message me back at 6:30. I'll be like, okay, got it. And they're like, you're up still? I'm like, no. I went to sleep for a couple hours and I'm up again.
Yeah.
Is it good for my health? Probably not. But like, I have so much that I have to do and
Yeah,
people
I mean,
to talk to in a given
part
day.
of it is part of that mental health approach is knowing you're accomplishing things so you could be settled. But if things are constantly stacked and you're just chipping away, you have to learn how to.
I've learned how to prioritize
Yeah.
people. So like a lot of people hit me up in a day.
Mm-hmm.
I don't answer everybody. I can't. I just mentally I can't because then that starts a conversation here,
Yeah.
and then I have things to do during the day.
Mm-hmm.
Podcasts, shoots, doggy, like stuff like that.
Yeah.
So it's just, without making it all about Nick's mental health.
Yeah, we're gonna deploy after this. We're gonna send you a protocol.
Yeah.
And we're gonna take the lifestyle section that's usually after nutrition and fitness. We're gonna bump it to the
Yeah,
top.
you gotta bump that right to the front. Yeah, it's just, life for everybody is complicated. So if you're feeling any type of way internally that needs to be changed, I
Yeah.
mean, one of the points I was going to make for you guys, especially, you said COVID took a hard hit for you guys, but then you recovered because people realized how unhealthy they were being during it. I mean, it started out great. I mean, chilling at home, drinking whiskey,
Right.
playing Xbox all day with the boys. Like, it started out great. And then the gyms were closed. And then the weight started packing on for everybody. And I was like, yeah, that sucks. So I literally spent all my money at the time because I wasn't getting any gigs at the time. And I bought a whole garage for the gym.
Right.
For, a whole garage for the gym. A whole gym for the garage. So I bought a Rogue rack. I bought calibrated plates. I bought everything. And I had all the boys over and we were working out. But it took a while to get out of that initial divot we dug ourselves into.
Yeah.
So you hope that people are going to stay consistent when they come to you guys because they're coming to you guys for a reason. I want to get better. I need to get better. Or I have to get better. Like there's 3 reasons why they're coming to you guys. Or I think I should get better, but those are the ones I feel like teeter-totter and they don't stick with it.
Yeah.
So it's like, so they're coming to you guys. You're giving them the data. You're giving them the metrics. You're helping them on the diet. You're helping them on the blood work. this is what's going on metabolically and internally with you. These are the changes to get better.
Right.
And you send them off on their way. But a lot of people don't realize, like we said earlier, that's the easy part. The hard part is
doing
doing
the work.
it now.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
So-
why, we try to set up, a system that keeps them accountable. We have accountability coaches. They meet with the dietitian every 2 weeks. We try, but, ultimately they have to be committed. They have to be committed. There's no magic formula here. It's
I wish.
consistency.
I wish there was.
Yeah, there's things that help, but it comes down to consistency. It comes down to training. It comes down to controlling, lifestyle choices and balancing, all that together. And that's where it's frustrating because they leave our office and I'm like, what are they doing? And then they come back and I'm like, what did they do for 2 weeks? We told them what to do.
It's the same metrics,
Yeah.
right? It's the same stuff that you guys are seeing.
Yeah, yeah. We're constantly trying to figure out what the magic formula is to create that constant compliance. And I think the formula ultimately comes back to, we always say it, it's like, what's your why? What's your motivation? Is it your kids? Is it you want to feel better? You want to roll out of bed with energy every day? You want to look better? You want what is your driving force? Keep that present, because human nature is to not constantly pursue that or be present in that state. You're going to fall back into whatever your habits are. How do you break it? Just constantly remind yourself, like, what's your why? What's your motivation? You asked her in the beginning, like, what's your motivation to be, to be in the field you're in? There's a driving force. So that's something we lean on, and that we're constantly saying to people, what's your why, to kind of remind them. But
Yeah.
life's crazy. People.
I think a lot of people need like a support system too. Like they lean on us for support because at home their life is crazy. So like they come in and they feel like it's more structured, it's organized, they have the accountability, like we care about them. I'm not saying that at home they don't have people that care about them, but like
No, but it's different.
It's chaos, and they come in and they want some type of support. And even in some situations, like people might not have support at home for fitness goals or for weight loss or for the change that's hard. And so they want someone just to lean on for that. So
And what's hard too is,
You
For
better get up on that mic.
there it is. For people that they want their body composition to change, they want to gain muscle, they need to know how to lift. They need to know how to do things like compound movements like deadlifts and squats, but they've never done those things. So what does their form look like? Are they confident enough to move weight? That's another element that, we try to point them in the direction of good trainers.
Do you have a network that you guys work with?
We have a network. We have training programs that we leverage that have videos, because in order for them to build muscle, they need to challenge their bodies. They need to do progressive forms of
you gotta
lifting
load it up.
or stuff like you do, the strongman stuff. The strongman stuff, you have to know how to brace your core, right? Otherwise you're gonna.
It would have been really tough if I didn't have years of training experience prior
Yeah.
to just like jump in and start doing it, because I'm doing landmine stuff too. So
Right.
I'm doing all landmine university,
Right.
snatches and jerks and cleans. So I'm mimicking
very
Olympic lifts
dynamic.
on a
Yeah.
landmine. So it's tough. I mean, the girl that I shot today, Sarah, she's never done any of that before, but she's an athlete. She's also an ex-NYPD cop. And she went to Tom's gym. He put her through a workout so I could shoot a video for Rain and do all that. And she was like, this is tough. I'm like,
Yeah.
yeah, it's bad.
Yeah,
it's great.
It's
but
coordination
bad.
and dynamic and loaded.
Yeah.
So but it'll change your body,
Oh,
right?
it'll change
Because
you.
you have to adapt. So a lot of times, again, like if we're focused on nutrition and we're focused on lifestyle, and we want to have body fat loss and muscle gain, we need to have some form of training that does that. And it's not constant cardio. It's weightlifting, and it's weightlifting in a progressive and challenging way that your body's going to change. So, that's one thing we're still, trying to get our clients to understand. Here's a program, follow the program, or make sure your trainer is challenging you in a progressive way. Make sure you're having to control external weight so your body starts to adapt. And then, oh, by the way, you have to eat after you work out. Don't just go and run 30 errands and
You're not supposed to do that?
forget to eat. Yeah. That's
Doing it all wrong.
Yeah. That's the intermittent fasting in the window we don't want it to occur. So
I'm a fake faster. I just forget to eat.
right.
I'm not actually trying. I'm like, oh shit, it's been a little while since I ate.
There's a
Isn't it?
mini
It's-
fridge in here.
Yeah.
Hey, I got
Besides
I got the big one. I just shoved meals in the bottom of
Yeah,
it.
just give us the
I think
keys.
There's alcohol in the bottom
We're
too.
going to leave your protocol here. We're going to clear out all that caffeine and
All
put
of it,
food
right?
in there. Yeah. We'll
As I
that-
sip on my.
I was caffeine free for almost a year and 8 months. So, and then
Wow.
I got the Reign contract, and I was
Tempted.
I was tempted every day, sitting in the office, perfectly chilled Reigns
Yeah.
right there. I'm like, I'm a little tired. It took me a little while to get back into it. I will not go over 1 Reign a day or
Yeah.
300 milligrams of caffeine a day. I
Yeah.
was taking almost a gram a day,
Wow.
sometimes more.
Yeah.
And I was still tired and not functioning.
Yeah.
I'd have 1 to 2 Reigns. And this is before I was even working with them, honestly. I'd have 1 to 2 Reigns. I'd have pre-workout, and I'd have an extra large iced coffee a day. And I could drink all of that and go.
It's a
right
mystery you couldn't sleep.
yeah, I could drink all of that and go right to sleep. Like it was like it didn't affect me. It was weird.
Yeah.
But yeah, I quit caffeine and I just started again. But now I will not go over 300 milligrams a day just to myself. So if I have a Reign, no coffee. If I have a coffee, no Reign. Like, but
Yeah.
at least I know I can have 1 or 2 coffees and then I'm good.
Yeah.
Like I won't get to that point anymore.
Yeah, I was similar. I drank a lot of coffee, and when Sarah started working in the office, she'd be like, no more after 12 o'clock. So when I went out to get coffee, because I would have that like midday, like I need some juice.
Yeah, I need a little nap.
I would come in with the coffee and I'd kind of like sneak in because
Hide it from
I didn't
me.
want her judgment. I didn't want to hear it. We're talking about coffee.
Put the blinders on. You're like, oh, if she can't see me, I
Yeah.
can't.
Yeah.
If I can't see her, she can't see me.
Yeah.
Nope.
It's not my cortisol.
Let me ask you, I know you guys mentioned VO2 max. A lot of people probably aren't familiar with that. So why don't you explain what that is and how that's beneficial to measure? Because obviously
Yeah.
we know about the scans now.
Yeah.
And at the end, after you talk about this, I want you to plug, obviously, DEXA and your services and make sure that people know that are listening, if they're interested, to contact you guys for some more information and obviously to schedule.
Sure. So the 2 other tests that we have, the RMR, that's a popular test as well. That's going to measure how many calories you burn at rest. So you have to come in for that test fasted, no caffeine, nothing that's going to stimulate your metabolism, because we need that basic number. That usually represents 65 to 70% of what you eat in a day or what you need in a day. So that's a very revealing data point, because like we said, a lot of people are underfueled. Or their goal is to gain muscle and they're not eating enough. They're not in a surplus, of their calorie needs to really pack on muscle. So that if you're doing a baseline DEXA scan and you have a goal and you know a diet needs to complement that goal, but you don't know where to start, the RMR is no brainer. Like everybody should be doing an RMR that hasn't been, dieting a certain way for years and really know their calorie intake. So the RMR, I think, is an instrumental piece. It's an accurate way of measuring your needs. The other test, the VO2, is beneficial for people who either are very endurance and cardiovascular driven and want to improve their cardiovascular health, and I'll explain how that test, shows that, or people who want to have a more dialed in approach to using fat or carbs as energy to really understand how they burn energy for their body composition goals. So what happens in a VO2 max test is you're obviously consuming oxygen and the waste product carbon dioxide at a certain rate. When you're working out at a less intense rate, your body is capable of converting fat for energy efficiently, because fat takes a while to break down and convert to ATP and energy. So at that lower intensity, you see where that optimization takes place of fat utilization and where you pivot to more carbohydrate use. At a certain point, everybody's, for the most part, they're going to start to use carbohydrates as energy because the demand is high and you need quick energy. When you're in the middle of your workout and it's like, you're in that more cardiovascular training, you're probably burning more carbohydrates than you are fat. Whereas when you're weight training, you're able to convert fat for energy. So it's a good data point for people who tend to overtrain and train in elevated heart rates of 150, 160, 170, or average 150 beats per minute for an hour of training. You're actually utilizing more carbohydrates than you are fat for production. So it's a very valuable data point for those people that are overtraining. But for athletes who want to improve performance, there's the benchmark of the VO2 max. What's my VO2 max, which is the highest volume of oxygen I could take in at my highest intensity, and how do I improve that? And you improve it by seeing where you start to break down, where you start to have more, take in less oxygen and have more carbon dioxide, and where you become inefficient at exercise. And we want to say to you, okay, this is where you become inefficient. This is your VO2 max. This is how we're going to train to improve your cardiovascular and lung capacity over time. So there's different populations that I think a VO2 max caters to. For you, it might be interesting to see where your heart health is now that your training has changed. Is this training modality giving me not only strength, but cardiovascular strength?
For sure.
I'm going to baseline it now. I'm going to do this for 3 or 4 months, and I'm going to come back and see if I'm getting like the best bang for my buck, right? I feel better. I feel stronger. I feel leaner. Does my heart health reflect it? And that would be more of the performance side of things than the data points for body composition, because your modality changed. You're not going for pure aesthetic. You're going for total,
just trying to feel and look
total
good.
health.
I just want one ab for the summer, just top right, just one ab. That's it. And the rest could be flabby. I just need one ab, and then I'm happy.
Well, that's going to be a lot of different variables, but we've hit on all of them.
We definitely have.
Yeah.
Anything else on your side of the business? Because I know I want to make sure that you get as much airtime as you want, and you want to cover points and.
Yeah, I mean, so what's really cool about working like in this type of company is that we take all the data and can create a really comprehensive nutrition program out of it. So like I'll use the DEXA scan to see where someone's at in terms of body fat percentage and like how much room they have to lose. I use it to like educate people on where they should be, based on their height and, a lot of other metrics, but like mostly based on their height and their age. Because like women shouldn't go below, let's say 18% body fat, or they're going to lose their menstrual cycle, right? They'll have lower bone density. They'll be in, they'll be experiencing things called like RED-S, which is relative energy deficiency in sport. So like with the athlete population, I'll like educate them on that. But I'll use the DEXA also to calculate someone's protein needs a lot of the time too, because we can base it off of their fat-free mass. The RMR test gives me a really great place to start them calorically. So, I want to, if someone's eating like south of their RMR, then we obviously want to reverse them up to that, depending on their goals, maybe put them in a surplus, to build muscle, like you were saying. So the RMR serves a really great, reference point for them in terms of like where they should be eating nutritionally. And then the VO2 is cool too, because especially for athletes, right? Like it tells me how many calories someone's burning per hour if they were to sustain that heart rate, right? And how many of those calories are coming from carbs and how many of those calories are coming from fat. So like, for example, we have an Ironman athlete that we've been working with, and like he didn't even realize that he had to replace calories while he's on the bike or while he's on the run. And so it helps me as like an educational point, be like, hey, you're losing this much. If you don't want to bunk, then we need to feed you while you're training. And like your stomach is very adaptable, so you can train that. So
is it like the gel carbs that you have me eat
yeah,
too?
the gel carbs. I mean, there's all sorts of things.
My buddy just started doing marathons and stuff like that. So he told me about the carbohydrates the goo that they eat in the middle of a run.
Yeah. So it's great for that, definitely very educational when it comes to nutrition. And then, creating just a comprehensive nutrition program out of all the pieces in one and using it as a reference point if anyone, feels a little bit, unmotivated during the process. So it's really great to just have more data, because without the data, you're really just up against the scale, the bathroom scale at home. And that is not a good indication of body composition.
That thing puts a frowny face if I gain a half a pound. I'm like,
everybody.
damn, bro.
It's muscle.
I'm like, damn, kid, leave me alone, man.
Yeah.
I had a burrito yesterday. Chill out.
Yeah. And, like weight can fluctuate every single day, So people do get, deterred when the scale is telling them something they don't want to see. So really just keeping their head in the right place too is important. And then the blood work. The blood work is one of our newer additions, but that's really huge because I get to see vitamin and mineral deficiencies if someone has blood sugar imbalances, high cortisol, and then from a nutrition standpoint, like we can use medical grade supplements to fix a lot of those things, and as a result, they'll see body composition change of fixing internal markers, or fixing the cortisol piece or fixing their cholesterol, right? Like they'll get a really good bang for their buck by looking at the entire puzzle piece and putting it together. So
That's awesome.
Yeah, I think for dietitians, because there's not a lot of dietitians in this space right now, like they usually go into the hospital setting, which is great too, but to have this kind of access to testing and not use it is something that I feel like a lot of dietitians should be dabbling in a little bit more. I first learned about it at a conference for dietitians called FNCE, which is like a food and nutrition expo. And there was a whole presentation on the DEXA scan, and I was like fascinated by it. And it was just so awesome. And I was like, I gotta find this in the area. And that's when I met Brian, because it's just, it's the access to testing is more available now. I think we're the only one in New York, actually.
Yep.
So we're the only one in New York, but people will travel for it, and once they have that data, you really don't have to measure it again for 4 months. So people come back and do it. But it's really, really helpful to really improve upon your body composition and internal health. So it's great stuff.
The data is key.
Data's key.
The data is key. That's the theme of the podcast. The
Data.
data is key.
And
And application.
Yeah.
And yes, and actually doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we have like a lot of professional athletes that use it too, and they really take their game to the next level when they're testing on that level. Because you'd be surprised, but these professional sports teams do not provide this type of testing or service for their athletes, even given their budgets.
I'm not shocked.
So when they seek it for themselves, they really will improve their performance.
I mean, they already have how many
tremendously.
coaches? They already have how many they have dietitians on staff. They have all
Yeah.
the strength and conditioning. They have all these different
Yeah.
assets in their life. I mean,
Yeah.
what could they be improving on even more when they find out what's actually going on internally?
Yeah, it's
big.
insane.
Yeah.
It's insane what it can do for you. So, yeah, it's great.
That's awesome. Well,
Yep.
listen, I appreciate you both.
Yeah, thanks for having us on.
Of course. Listen, I just love having good conversations, and it's cool to not only have a business on Long Island. Listen, I'm very pro helping the small businesses, helping businesses that I'm friends with out, and like any way that I can raise awareness for things, because I support people that are doing real things. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like you guys are actually out here changing people. It's not bullshit. You're actually changing people's lives and helping them out and showing them things that they may not have known if they didn't get that done. So that's on the health side. And then obviously the bodybuilders and all them, they already know what they're kind of doing, but to help them on a more finite scale and
Yeah.
what is so small that we could change that maybe pushes you over to the next show where you can win.
Yeah.
Whether that's baseball, basketball, whatever it might be,
Yeah.
bodybuilding.
Yeah.
It helps.
They gain
and-
a competitive edge.
yeah, it just helps and it makes a difference.
It's
so
knowledge.
that's huge.
It's knowledge. If you take the data and really internalize it, you could use it, because you might not always be doing things 100% right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It might not be working for you.
Yeah, my first coach. Yeah, definitely did not do things correct for me.
Right.
That was great. Tanking my metabolism. Good times.
Yeah.
Well, thank you again for guys.
Thank you.
Can you guys plug both yourselves respectively for social media if anybody wants to get in touch with either of you guys, and then obviously the joint company?
Yeah. Both
first.
Dexa and
Yeah, DexaFit Long Island.
Yeah.
DexaFit _long.
I think it's DexaFit _
Check
long
real quick.
un-
Check real quick.
DexaFit
Let me look, wait,
Yeah,
underscore.
check real
Let me
quick.
look.
Pull it out.
I
Let's
think
get
it's
it.
_ long _ island.
I don't know. It's your page, not mine.
That's all right. Listen, he's
DexaFit _ long island. _long _ island.
Yeah, so it's DexaFit
Say it over,
_ long _ island
done. Okay.
on Instagram.
Well, I interrupted you. You have to say it again.
DexaFit _ long _ island
Okay.
on Instagram.
And the other one?
And then Prefusion Health is the other company that does more of the nutrition, blood work, more of the extensive services, and then working with individuals to optimize their health. But they're essentially the same company.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, once again, thank you guys, Brian, Sarah. I appreciate you guys
Thank
so
you.
much.
Yeah, thank you.
Anybody that has any questions, you guys want more information, they just plug themselves. Just go find them. Talk to them. They'll help you out more than I can. And I definitely got to get back in and do a scan at some point.
Anytime.
Yeah, I want to see where
Before
I'm
you
at.
get too far along with this new training, let's get
Yeah,
some form of
it'll
a
be cool.
baseline,
And I'm gonna see if Bronson could come through and do that because he's on his weight loss journey, and it'd be cool to see what his BMI is
Yeah,
and get
yeah.
all that, and then
Body
have
fat.
him
No,
come
not
back.
BMI.
Body
Not
fat.
BMI.
Body fat. Sorry, my
That's
bad.
all right. That's all right.
My bad.
Yeah.
Body fat percentage.
Body fat percentage.
There you go.
There we go.
What's the
Yeah.
difference?
Do you want to tell me?
You tell me.
Body mass index versus body fat percentage.
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess BMI is like a fake number. I could be obese technically, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. Body fat is the ultimate, number that we get from the DEXA scan. It's a true number of the amount of fat tissue that makes up, that's part of your total body mass.
I just got learned.
So
BMI is just a product of
range.
weight for height. but it doesn't take into consideration muscle tissue.
Yeah, I've been obese mad years, even
Yeah,
after I
me
lost all the
too.
weight. I'm
Yeah.
just mad
we have
obese.
just too much muscle.
Everybody should do a DEXA scan, right? No more BMI.
There you go. See, no
We
more.
need to really know what's going
That
on.
might have to be the episode name. No more BMI. We're going right into Dexas. Appreciate you guys.
That's all right.
Episode
Thank you.
30, Rizzology. Let's get it, guys. Peace.